Greetings and salutations, everyone. This is Mama Roo, aka Minati Wilson on Facebook, at Mama Roo HH on Twitter, Mama Roo on Tumblr, and Mama Roo on YouTube. Yes, all of the audio files for these Spreaker episodes are available now on YouTube. Hope everybody's had a great week. I'm coming to you from Chicago, Illinois, South Side, Inglewood, United States. It's a glorious Thursday. It's absolutely beautiful here. But let me let y'all know something. I woke up this morning absolutely traumatized. Oh my gosh. Let me just tell you. I woke up ready to leave this fine black man of a husband that I have been with now for 26 years. And I wanted to go hook myself up with some racist dude, and I wanted him to put me in a BDSM relationship. I wanted him to tie me up and whoop my ass from sunup till sundown. Yes, I want to go work for free at one of the Koch brother enterprises. You know, them racist ass motherfuckers who basically own every goddamn thing. Okay, yes, I want to go work for them for fucking free. Okay, I want to vote for Donald Trump. All right, and I want to wear Confederate flag underdrawers on my ass. Because last night while I was watching Roots and live tweeting the event on Black Twitter, the Hoteppers came in and spread the word on the damn timeline. In real time, they're like, y'all don't understand. Watching this stuff is dangerous. It's not healthy for your minds. You're all going to revert to being slaves from watching stuff like this. It's all propaganda. And wouldn't you know it? They're motherfucking right. I hereby denounce my blackness. I denounce my love for the cause. I denounce my love for the people. I'm going to go out there and beg the white man to love me. End of sarcasm. Yeah, I just had to get petty with it, y'all. I just had to. Yeah, that kind of nonsense is just hilarious to me. It's funny. It used to bother me. It doesn't really bother me anymore that some of us, and I include them in us, you know, they think that we're just so fragile mentally. Okay? No. No. All right, but I'm not going to make this episode about Roots because it's still going on. The last episode is airing tonight, and I will be live tweeting it again. Hashtag Kuntaskin. Join up if you haven't. You know, even if you don't want to tweet anything, you can do a search for the hashtag Kuntaskin, Kuntaskin, and just see what everybody else has to say, because we're a fun, clever, witty bunch, and it's just fun, hanging with the folks and watching the show together. The topic I want to talk about today is one that I intended on speaking about before, but I got a little sidetracked. And the topic is ancestral reverence. Okay. If you look at any of my social media, you'll see in the bio section, I refer to myself as an ancestral warrior. Well, what does that mean exactly? It's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek, but it kind of isn't. All right. When I refer to myself as an ancestral warrior, what that means is I'm trying to fight the good fight on behalf of the ancestors. That's why I get really heated and really passionate when I see things that are disrespectful to the legacy of our ancestors, including the stories of our enslaved ancestors here in this land. When I see people dogging out their stories, that just, it fires me up, because I have to speak out. I have to defend the honor of our ancestors. All right? And I don't get mad at the people for having the opinions and the views that they have, because I kind of understand where they're coming from and how they got to believe the things they believe about us and our legacy and our history and all that and so on and so forth. But I'm not just going to sit by and allow folks to dog out the honor and the legacy of our people who came before us, who without which we would not exist. We would not be here without them. So I always have something to say when I see that kind of mess going on. And it does ruffle folks' feathers, not so much among us, but amongst others. All right, people who are not African descended, because a lot of them are infiltrating our African ancestors' spiritual traditions. And I mentioned a lot of them in the previous episode. I won't go through that here, but I'm talking about African traditional religions, or ATRs, or diaspora traditional religions, DTRs. And they're coming to these things all the wrong way. And unfortunately, a lot of the gatekeepers who are responsible for allowing them in, who are, cultural representatives or descendants of the Africans who started these traditions in the first place, they're allowing greed to basically, allow for that kind of thing to take place. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean that every non-African descended person who finds themselves an initiated priest or priestess in the tradition doesn't deserve to be there. I'm not saying that, okay? I'm not saying that at all. But I do look at people's histories and their stories. How did you come to this? And there are individuals out there who weren't seeking this. They didn't know about it. They didn't care about it. And it just kept coming on their path. And then they were being tapped for whatever reason. They were being tapped. And they had no choice but to go ahead and, after all these years of being, going through whatever, all these signs and things saying that they need to come and do this, who am I to stand there and say, you're wrong. No. I have a problem specifically with these people who call themselves witches, call themselves sorcerers, call themselves, whatever, Voldemort. Okay. They just trying to be all big and bad on the magical scene in the online spiritual community. And they started out, doing Euro tradition, witchcraft or whatever, occult practices, because they're trying to, they're chasing this idea of ultimate power, and they somehow, find out that the African traditions have that. And so they come in and they do it for that reason. They have no intention whatsoever to service the Black communities, here or abroad. They have no intention on living in those communities, okay, and being accepted and adopted into family in those communities. They have no intention fighting for those communities, okay, none. They're only there for selfish, egotistical reasons, to stroke their own egos, to be all big and bad on the scene and make people afraid of them, because maybe these people are just weak people and they need something to feel empowered by. Okay, y'all are the ones that I cannot deal with. Okay, please stay away from me. I can't be bothered with that kind of mess. Okay, because one of the reasons is all of these traditions have at their core or at their foundation the practice of ancestral reverence, okay? Honoring the ancestors. This is purely an African thing, okay? There aren't too many African cultures or ethnicities that do not have a component of ancestral reverence. Now, what does that have to do with us as Black Americans? Well, this is what we come from. Now, the unfortunate position with all of this is that as Black Americans, our ancestors did not have the same types of structure that other African descendant people who came from the enslaved and the diaspora had. Okay, in those places, they were able to establish community. They were able to stay in pretty much the same geographical location for more than one generation. So a lot of things are just a part of their day-to-day living. Okay, and then the children are born and they come up and they see these things, and it's just a part of who they are. So it's just a natural progression to be a part of these spiritual traditions, as opposed to here, there's a lot of moving around. during slavery. After slavery ended, you had the Great Migration, and then, of course, Christianity, which poo-pooed a lot of the traditional things, and people, got afraid of them and scared of them and felt that, somehow these things were bad. And so they just, kind of put them off altogether. But there has now been a reclamation, a renaissance of sorts going on. I spoke about this before, and ain't nothing gonna stop it, okay? It's happening whether you like it or not, all right? And it's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. So how does one get started honoring the ancestors? Well, first of all, do you have a question about whether or not you even can? Because you might even right now be a part of an organized religion like Christianity, or any other organized religion. And some folks think that because of that reason, they can't honor the ancestors. They can't do it. A lot of folks have a problem with the word worship, okay? The majority of people who practice ancestral veneration don't hold on to that word, okay? They are quick to tell you, we don't worship our ancestors, we revere them, and we honor them. Just like when it's somebody's birthday, are you going to worship them because it's their birthday? No, you show up to their party and you honor them, you celebrate them, right? Because it's their day. And this is to honor and celebrate the day that they were born. And it's basically very similar to honoring your ancestors, except you're honoring not only something outside of you, you're honoring something that's actually within you. So you can even be an atheist and honor your ancestors, okay? Well, what if you're that type of atheist that says, well, I don't believe in spirits, period? Well, let me tell y'all something, okay? You might not believe in your ancestors who are no longer here in the flesh, but they sure as hell believe in you, baby. Oh, yes, all right? And if you need proof of what I'm talking about, cut yourself. See, won't you bleed? That red liquid coming out of your flesh, that's blood. And inside that blood, red blood cells. And inside them cells, DNA. And inside that DNA, markers and code for every single person that ever lived, that ever loved to make you possible. You don't need to believe in anything to believe in that. And that is what I'm talking about. Who we are. We carry them with us, whether we believe in them or not. But I would rather you believe in them because they can bring so much good to your lives. They can bring so much. They can open roads for you. They can bless you with favor and prosperity. They can heal. They can help you with your finances. They can help you with your love life. Okay? You know how back in the day, black folks used to have courtship rituals. So if a young man fancied a young woman, he had to go through the family. Usually it was the daddy. In a lot of cases it was the mama. In some cases it was granddaddy and grandmama, and sometimes even auntie and uncle or older cousin. But somebody had to size this fella up and determine whether he was worthy or not for the admiration of the young lady in the family. And it's the same thing with our ancestors, okay? When we do love work as spiritual workers, we have to consider those things. When clients come to me for love work targeting a specific person, I have to check with the spirits, okay? Your spirits and that person's spirits. I have to do a spiritual investigation through divination to find out if this is something that they will bless or is this something that they will try to curse, because they can do both. Okay? Because 9 times out of 10, if the spirits are in agreement for your union, it's going to happen. Okay? It's going to work out. If your spirits and their spirits are not in agreement with that union, ain't nothing you can do about it, baby. I don't care how many candles you burn. I don't care how many mojos you make. I don't care how many love baths you take or any of that other shit. It ain't going to work. All right? That's just how I like to work. A lot of people are different in their approaches, but that's just how I like to work. Honoring the ancestors. How does one even get started honoring the ancestors? Well, let me just say right now, if you're already initiated into an African traditional religion, you already know, you know, so whatever you're doing, you know,